everyone, welcome back to another episode of Green Life Garden and Home DIY channel. It's your girl Ro, aka Mommy Green Life, and today I am getting ready to make some marmalade. Orange marmalade. Not just any orange marmalade, sour orange. I'm talking about the Seville orange, bitter. And so this bag is the ones that has that orange in it. Those are sweet oranges right there. Have me a little grapefruit, and on top of that, more sweet oranges. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get these washed, and these are washed in warm to hot. All right, so yeah, these are bitter oranges, and the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get them over into the sink, get them washed up, and I will show you what to do next. All right, so we're getting our oranges washed, you guys, and these are very, very pungent and bitter on the inside, but believe it or not, the skins are said to be pretty sweet. These have a really long history too. A lot of people use them in some of your high-end recipes in those, big time restaurants. These are what you would want if you really want a good orange extract as well. These are not eaten raw most of the time by people because there is a certain what would I call it, component in the orange that is like the ephedra that they removed from the market. Let them see them years ago that they took off the market. You could also find bitter orange bitter orange capsules and supplements, bitter orange supplement capsules. And yeah, so let us go ahead and finish getting these washed really good, and then we're going to cut them and go ahead and juice them up, and I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Alright, so we're just giving them a really good scrub to make sure that we get everything off, because we are going to be using the skins of this orange. Okay, so I got them all washed, and what I'm about to do now is give them a good rinse, and then I'll go on from there. So you can see the water is much clearer. My hands are like, woo, because they've been in the water. I took my time and I scrubbed each one of these, so I'm just giving them a good rinse now. And I'm about to take them out and move on. Alright, so this is about 6 pounds that I'm getting ready to make marmalade with. And this is about 3.5 pounds that I think I'm going to juice and put into my ice trays back here and just kind of store it away for any type of recipes that may call for sour orange juice. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so right now I'm going to go ahead and cut my orange, and then I'm going to juice it because I've just got a little time on my hand to do it with this. I do have a juicer. If you have one, you can pull it out and go for it. So go cut it right down the middle, and this is a good time to save your seeds if you would like, but I'm going to just go ahead and juice, and I could take my seeds out at a later time. Juicing actually don't take that long,
and I recommend this juicer because it works really good.
And then I'm going to put it into my glass jar over here, and the pulp, do not throw it away. Find you something to gather it in as you go, and that way you'll be able to use it for the pectin whenever we are boiling our orange juice and peels. Okay, so I am done squeezing all of my oranges. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with them next. Before I do, the excess juice that I had, or the extra juice, I am putting them into ice trays to freeze, and that way I could use them at a later time. And freezing also preserves more of its benefits. What I did with the pulp, as I was juicing them, is I put it in here, and now I am going to go ahead and squeeze this to get the rest of the juice out. And once I get this pulp scraped out of the oranges, it's going to go in here as well. Alright, so let me get this all squeezed so I can get the rest of my juice in the trays, And then I'm going to scrape the pulp out of the oranges, and it's going to go inside the cheesecloth. That's going to help with the pectin not being put in here. And that's going to give it thickness from natural pectin instead of adding pectin to it. The other thing I'm going to be adding is 1 lemon too. That's going to help as well with the pectin. Okay, so I've squeezed out enough. It doesn't really matter if you get it all out, because this, once I put the pulp in it out of the orange, it's actually going to go inside the pot, tied off into this bag, okay? Okay, so I want to show you right quick. I did take my lemons out. It's about 2 lemons for this recipe. I'm going to go ahead and get those squeezed, and we'll move on. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the pith from the orange. And I'm going to put that over into my cheesecloth as well. This is going to help with the pectin. And I can promise you, everybody that makes marmalade does something a little bit different than the other person. But while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to cut this. Some people would go in and even scoop this out further by using a knife, but that's unnecessary to go that far, unless that's what you want to do. All right, if that's what your grandma did, and whoever you have taken your cooking lessons from, have at it. So I'm just gonna chop these into little thin, they call it julienne, thin slices. Okay, and they're just gonna be strips of orange like that. And I'm gonna do that to every one of the oranges that I've juiced, and it's gonna go over into the pot with my orange juice that I juiced. We're going to add equal parts, double the amount of the pounds that your oranges weigh. You want to put double that amount of sugar into your pot, and also double that amount of water when it's time. Alright, so hold on just a moment. Let me go ahead and get these all sliced up, and I'll show you what we got going on. Alright, so I am finally done slicing up my oranges, and I have 4 cups of juice there that I'm going to be using, and I put probably about a cup and a half into an ice tray, but 4 cups of juice. I have my oranges here, and what I did is I split these in 2 because I'm going to use my own recipe as well as the way that it is traditionally made. And with mine, I'm going to add some rum and cinnamon sticks, okay? And yeah, so that's going to be my own little recipe there. And I'm also, as I said, making it the way that it's usually made. Again, you will find this probably made different by every person that does it. They're going to go about things differently and so on and so forth, but this is the way I'm doing it. Okay, so this is going to set in the pot overnight with water and juice. I'm going to show you how that's done, and tomorrow, once it sets, I'll be back to go ahead and finish off the process. You don't have to let this sit overnight. You can go ahead and start boiling it, but just for the sake of me being able to go sit down somewhere, I'm gonna let this sit overnight. Okay. Alright, so I've got everything halved up, and I'm going to go ahead and pour my juice in first. This is 1 liter of juice. The recipe calls for basically 500 milliliters per recipe. And I've got 2 again. So let's go ahead and get 2 cups, which is roughly what, the 500. Milliliters are. That's about best to measure on a flat surface. So I'm right at, because I want to put the same amount in each one. Alright, so that's just a little bit above 500. So I'm going to go ahead and pour just a tad more. Alright, so I'm going to put the rest over here in this one. I didn't really strain it because, alright, so, and now I'm going to add 2 liters of water to each pot. Okay, so I've got my water poured in, I've got my baggies in there, and this is going to soak all night long. That's going to help to soften up the peels and also begin to let the pectin begin to release itself. Same over here. This pot I'm actually going to have to change out because it's nowhere near big enough. The water is like up to the gills with that one. And so, yeah, so they're going to sit overnight, and when we come back, we will be boiling and preparing our jars for canning them. You guys, so thanks to camera time lapse, I am back. It is the next day. I have everything sitting in the pot soaking. There we go. I did change pots on the other. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fire now and let this go ahead and come to a boil. After it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down and let it simmer for at least an hour and a half. 1 hour, 30 minutes. And then I'll go ahead and add my sugar and my cinnamon stick to the one that I'm going to be flavoring and doing it my way. So let me go ahead, get everything turned on and brought to a boil, and I will show you what it looks like. As you can see, my pot has came to a boil. I don't want the steam to fog up my camera here, but I'm going to go ahead and take the lids off, and I'm getting ready to reduce my heat back here all the way. You can hear it coming down now to a simmer, and we're going to let this go. If you get too much buildup on the top there, you can put a little bit of butter, probably a teaspoon of butter in there to keep that down, but yeah, skim it off or a little butter. So I'm going to take this one here off and keep a check, keep stirring. You know, you don't want to just not come in here and see what's going on. So, in this water, I'm sure the liquid is going to reduce down. I've gotten that all out and just placed them over here in this bowl, squeezed out as much of the pectin as I could. You're not going to be able to get all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and pour over my sugar. And I know that's a lot. It looks like a whole bunch, but there we go. And I'm going to start getting my sugar mixed in and letting it dissolve. And you could use as much or as less as you like. And so yeah, I'm going to put this back on the stove. I'm going to turn it to a low simmer again and let it go for about another 20 minutes. And this time I'm going to make sure I'm stirring the pot and trying to get all of that sugar off the bottom so that it doesn't sit there and burn. So you can hear it now at the bottom, like a little, the sugar crystals scraping up against the pot. But once that stops, you're pretty much okay. So when I put it back on, I'm going to let it simmer. Some people go ahead and turn theirs up and let it come back to a boil, and then they'll start checking to see if it's at a setting point, and I'll show you how to check that as well. But I'm going to let mine just simmer on low and about 20 minutes, and you could even go longer than that, because the biggest thing was making sure that your peels were translucent and soft, and these are. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish adding sugar in here, and we'll move on. Yeah, I've got the cinnamon added into the one that I'm making a little bit different. The cinnamon stick is gonna simmer in there this time, and I'm gonna go ahead and add about a half a cup of rum into the pot, and that's going to that's put in there just to enhance the flavor, or just want to see what it tastes like. This was some rum left over from the Jamaican Christmas cake that I made this holiday season that's gone. So yeah, we don't just sit and drink social or casual or whatever you want to call it. I do use certain things for cooking, but that's about it. While my mix is back on the stove getting ready to come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the oven, because I want hot jars for hot liquid. You don't want to be filling up jars that is cold, you know, and just change the temperatures that quick. So let me get that done, and when I come back, we should be putting marmalade into our jars. Oh, before I do that, I'll show you how to test it to see if it's ready to go into the jars, that is. Okay, so I've got my pots back on the stove, trying to get them back up to a boil, and then I'm going to let them simmer for about 20 minutes. Like I said, you notice I got my water bath canner out, because I am going to be putting these on a shelf. I would like for them to be more shelf stable and last longer. Other than that, with jams and preserves and things like that, you can go ahead and straight out of the pot, put them in jars and put your lids on. It doesn't even have to be a mason jar. I meant to say a jar with a lid and a ring, or you know, just a jar that could take heat, and close it up, and you could put it in the refrigerator, and it'll last a good 2 to 3 months, maybe more. So, but I just like to put a little bit of insurance on it, and in order to keep it for a longer period of time. You know, they always tell you at least a year, but the new lids for ball says 18 months. And of course, if you know anything about canning, there's people with stuff on their shelves from 5 years and more that is still good, edible, absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I'll let you do your research on that. But anyway, that's what we are waiting on right now. Our canner is heating up. Our pots are trying to heat back up. I've got my mason jars in the oven. Yeah, so they'll be good and hot in just a matter of minutes. Okay, so what I'm about to do right now is take this plate that I had in the freezer and do a test to see if this is actually setting up and ready to become marmalade. And I'm going to show you how that works. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on my plate and see what it does. And what I'm going to do now is put this back into the freezer for like 1 minute, and when it comes out, if I could leave a trace with a finger pushing it, then I will know that it is ready. Okay, so not quite, it's still a bit runny. It leaves a little bit of a trace, but not as much as a trace as I would want it to leave. Okay. So I believe we are good to go with this pot. I have my ladle here. It's steaming hot. My glass jars, I've just pulled them out of the oven. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and pack my jars with my mix. Put my funnel in, and I'm going to start scooping out and putting it in there. Okay. Okay. So these are very hot, so I don't want to be touching them too much. That one there. Said I didn't want to touch them. I did it anyway. Alright, so I just wanted to get it as close as I possibly could to the pot. I'm going to go ahead and start ladling it in. Don't think I got enough jars made up for all that I've made today, but I could get some more. And we're going to put this in here and leave about a 1-inch head space. And if you don't know how to figure that out, this little tool right here will help you. All right, a 1/4 inch is what I was meaning to say. That's going to be this step right here. Okay, and they actually have it on the written on here. All right, I don't know if you could see it, but it's on there. So let me go ahead and finish filling my jars. All right, everyone, so we are done canning our Seville oranges, aka bitter orange. And yes, this is our marmalade. I am going to see how it's set up the next day.
Hopefully it's so delicious.
I will let you guys know. So normally the only thing I do is wash my jars, sanitize, you know, with soap and water, put them in the oven or hot water. And after I put my contents into the jar, I make sure I wipe it with a clean, dry, a clean paper towel or some clean towel of some sort, dipped into vinegar, preferably white vinegar, to wipe the rim of the jar before you put the lid on. And then you, of course, put your ring on and you put it into your processor, whether that be a water bath canner or a pressure canner. It's really up to you. So we're going to see how these set, and hoping for the best. The thing that I wanted to say too about jams, jellies, and marmalades, if for some reason it does not set, you can go back, pour everything out back into the pot, and redo whatever it is that you went wrong, whether it be the pectin or you know, the type pectin that you use did not set up for some reason, or just whatever the case may be. This one I didn't use pectin. I used the fruit's natural pectin. So that's always one of them situations where your fingers are just crossed. If it didn't set, I could still use it as juice. I could take this and put a little bit over into some soda water, you know, just the fizzy water, and it will be the best orange drink you probably ever had in your life, because it will be acting more like a syrup. So you could use this on meats, on sweets, cakes, pies, yogurt, you name it. You'll put it in your water, just whatever. It's a lot that you can do with this. So even if your recipe is a fail and don't set, there is so many things that you could do, not just with failed marmalade from bitter orange, but whatever. Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and show you what our marmalade is looking like. Just want to remind you of two things. Whenever you're boiling your marmalade, make sure that you are boiling it until it gets to the temp of 221 Fahrenheit. and let it go for a good 15 to 30 minutes. You can keep checking to see if it has set yet with the plate method by putting it in the freezer, or you could just go ahead and you know, trust that you've got it up to 221. You've let it boil 15 to 30 extra minutes at that temp, and you know it should set. You shouldn't have any problems. So let's go ahead and dig in. Let's see if I can get over here where you can see. Get these out of the way. Now, I don't represent this company in any way, but I do like ghee, butter on my toast. So I'm going to butter it up first. Just a little pat. I'll put that right on there. And I'm going to go ahead and open. Everything sealed. Always open the ones that didn't first. I'll put them in the refrigerator. Whoopsie. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take this off just using the edge of my butter knife here. All right. Ooh. All right, I'm going to pick the camera up. All right, so there we go. And yeah, just wanted to show you that. And I'm going to go ahead and scoop me out a little bit here. Wow, that looks amazing. See if I can focus. And that orange peel, yum, 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 yum. All right, so here's to looking at it. Make sure. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get it on this toast. Spread it out there. Now, y'all know I tell y'all all the time, you can't get this out the stove. Okay? Not that homemade freshness, goodness. Alright, there we go. So, I'm going to give it a bite. I'm in my PJs. Don't want to be getting on camera too much here. Whoopsie. Let's taste this. Mmm. 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 That's sweet, tangy, sour. Mmm. All of that just go together. And just having that fresh orange peel in there. If you love tangy stuff or sweet and sour, you're gonna love this. Mmm. That is so delicious. Mmm. Okay, y'all. Just wanted to give you a look. And let you see what we got. Don't mean to be smacking, but that's so delicious. Alright, so thank you again for watching. We appreciate all of your support. Give this recipe a try. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
One love.
One love. Baby Green Life has already eaten her toast. She just could not wait to eat her marmalade.
Okay,
So what is it tasting like? You can tell them. You already ate.
guys, you gotta try this at home. Hold on 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
Sorry, guys. I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. You know, it may look like it's a whole lot of sugar going in there, but I could almost promise you that it is no more sugar in this than it would be in the one you would buy out the store. And sugar is a preserver as well, just like salt. So that's another reason so much is in there, because some people don't even water bath can. They just put theirs on the shelf. So, all right, you guys.
One love.
One love.